blasting someone's ears off.
All right, there we go. We're live.
Ooh, fancy.
How's everyone doing today? Oh, let me bring up the chat. I forgot to bring up the chat. How's everyone doing? Or sorry, how's chat doing? I hate
Yeah.
people that do that. Sorry. Especially my kids are like, yeah, chat. What? Dude, don't talk to your friends. You're not a streamer. You're
No.
not on a stream. You don't
Oh,
call
was it
people
like,
chat.
so today I heard you guys want to see my startup routine. Yeah. No. Funny.
There it is. Oh, finally. All right, there we go. All right. Everyone in the chat, let us know if you're good. Audio and visuals are good, hopefully.
Looks like it's good.
Wait. There we go. Hey, Doug. Okay, sweet. How's it going, bud?
Good.
Excellent.
It's been a crazy, crazy week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sweet. So, hey, for everyone that's watching, me and Josh are just kind of riff a little bit. We're just going to keep it casual and just talk about Total CMS 3. Obviously, we're really close to launch. I'll probably remove the beta constraints, and I don't know if it'll be this beta or the next one, and it'll just be live. Okay. Obviously, I haven't even done like the website for it and all that jazz yet. Definitely have to do that, but it'll be purchasable and production ready. 3.1 will be the production version, the fully released version. Um, Even though right now it's really good. So, um, yeah, if you guys have any questions or you want us to, kind of go back and review anything, let us know in the chat, and we'll happy to answer anything we got. So I do have to say that Total CMS 3, man, it is so much bigger than I originally. I mean, I had big visions for it, but it's completely different tool than what I thought what it was going to be 3 years ago. Right? What do you think, Josh?
Honestly, I don't think I would have ever thought that it would have turned into this. I mean, I guess you'd imagine what the next evolution of Total CMS 1 was going to be. But like the flexibility of it. I mean, for me on the pro side of things, it allows me to build sites that I thought I definitely would never have imagined being able to build inside of RapidWeaver or Stacks now. Like it's just not
Hmm.
something that you would have thought you could build this type of website inside of a program. And I think Total CMS 3 really elevates these types of, programs that where you build in a UI on your computer. You're not coding. I think it really elevates that to a whole nother level that you're building sites that you could never build in any other program.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, I'm doing stuff that I never thought that was ever possible. And then I think for me, what's funny is because like I want to rebuild Stacks Weaver with Total CMS 3, but it's like every week I keep pushing the envelope of what's possible. That like even if I wanted to build my site a month from now, I'm going to have a completely different thought process on doing that because now, like, oh, now I can do this and now I can
So,
do
so
that.
you're admitting we don't have it released yet because it's all your fault because you keep asking for more shit.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's probably my fault. But when everyone loves it in the end, you're welcome. But no, which is great though. I love that I'm able to, for me, like building these projects, and I keep pushing that envelope and keep, pushing you on those pro things and those additional things, which I think should be there anyways. But I mean, how do you even start? I don't even know how you started this because like you look at um where we're at now and the features you're adding now is like, did you think of that on that first draft,
Yeah.
or the second draft, or now as we're at it on our fourth version of Total CMS 3?
Yeah.
It's crazy, but the way what I do like about it is the way that you've built it is that it's modular, so you can expand it, you're growing it, and you're making these additional features, especially the stuff that you're going to show off today. Um, you would never have thought that that would be as something that's going to be in Total CMS 3. So
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool.
Well, you want to I don't know, how do you want to you want to show, I know you got some really cool sites that and stuff you want to show off. Do you want to show that off now? Should I
Where do you?
what do you think?
Yeah, do you want to see what does chat say? No, no one's saying anything yet.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could show off some of the logic stuff that I've been doing with the Total CMS 3 here. Let me just get this popped open here. I think that menu, then that menu I should kind of briefly show it off at the Hangout. I think people will love that. I think that's some of the cool things here, right? Yeah, Joe's audio just his microphone did a little jolt down for a
Oh,
little bit.
all right, let
No,
me
no, 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 it's
oh,
back up. No, it came back up. Don't even bother.
I just raised the gain, that's why.
Okay. I was like, maybe I should just fling this to the edge here. There we go. I think already someone's going to notice something very interesting about Total CMS 3. Alrighty, so yeah, let's talk about some cool logic stuff. Um, one way I'm approaching Total CMS 3 and the sites that I'm building going forward is how do I build a site that does not require you to open stacks? How can I build something that is truly 100% dynamic? It's all Total CMS 3. There's nothing else. And that's kind of what I've been logicking with this navigation here at the top. So this is a navigation that I think it comes out of the project file from Massimo, his RW Pro Space, one of his menu projects, and it's really cool. I mean, if you have simple link or a drop down with different sections in the drop down, and when you actually look at this, it's got a bunch of elements to it. So you have column with links, with text, descriptions. There's a bottom navigation menu. And how could I take this entire thing and make it into something dynamic that's flexible in Total CMS 3? And I guess it comes down to breaking down the logic. For me, when I'm looking at something like this, let's do it this one. When you're kind of breaking down the logic of CMSifying, that's a term that I will keep throwing out there for forever and ever now, is that you essentially have to go, okay, how do I make each one of these into an object? And my thought process is like, okay, well, this is an object, this is an object. So how do I make, each of these into a custom collection? And of course, this entire section is an object that's tied to the link our work. So these are work and this has to be tied together. And then I have, inside of this, you have columns. So I kind of start mapping this out into logic of how these are all designed. So you have columns. And then you have two types of links. So, this is a link. This is a launcher for a dropdown. So, okay, how do I have two of those? How do I logic this out? So with this in mind, jump into a schema. And this is kind of how I logic that out. So initially I have an enable toggle, something that will turn it. Actually, let me just show you the actual collection. So in here I have the initial toggle, something that turn on and off that section. So turn it on. We'll add a number 10 section, and we'll put this in here as TCMS. Now, so the first set of logic is, okay, I've turned on the link. I've set a URL for it.
Oops.
Yeah, let's fix that. And spaces. So set a link for it and just save that. So that first set of logic, now we'll put that link in here. And you click that, and it will go to Everspace. Super simple. The next part of that logic, okay, is this dropdown, is turning that dropdown on. So when I turn on this dropdown, that will now switch out this link for a dropdown launcher. And then there's dropdowns that are generated. So you can put a background in, you can set whether it's cover or contain. So we're modifying some CMS settings, or sorry, CSS settings with this, which is really cool because depending on your image, you might want to have it aligned differently. So I've made manual controls for the CSS. And then, you want to turn on your first column. And then that first column, the links for that, turn that into a deck. So this is a great feature of deck where you're now able to add items into this column directly. So this, of course, runs its own schema. And in here, I'm able now to add the next level of logic. And the next level of logic is, well, this is, you're going to have one of two things. You're going to either have a heading or a link. So that's the next kind of thought logic here. So in here, I can say heading, and I can be like, learning TCMS 3. So this here, if it's just a heading, none of these other fields are useful for us. That just creates the heading. So we'll save that. And then we'll add in a link, So in here we go, stacksweaver.com. Cool. And then we put a link in here.
You need keyboard shortcut to put your URL, man.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do that. I haven't done that. All right, so let's save that. See what we got. So now when we refresh this, you'll see that this TCMS link now has a drop-down. And now that opens up
Dude, that's so cool.
The drop-down. Yeah. So
good.
It's so cool. So now you can see here, learning Total CMS. We got stacksweaver.com, and it's got the link in there. And it's even really cool is then, of course, now I don't have it on here on the screenshot, but you see on this about, we had this bottom link section. So in there, we also have what I call it footer links. So if we scroll down here to the bottom, we can even turn on the bottom menu, and then we could add another link. We have the same schemas that it's pulling from here. The header doesn't work in this section, so turning that on and off isn't going to change anything in this. I'm using one schema to make it easier. If you really wanted to make custom schemas for everything, you could. But for me, this is kind of unnecessary. Just a simple title of let's right, and then you could put in a link to that. I'll just skip the link side of that. So we save that. Now we have this link here at the bottom.
Boom.
So which is really cool. So
I'm curious, can you just add as many of those as you want, or are you limited to 2 or 3?
Oh, you can put in here
oh, okay. And it'll just evenly space them out.
Yeah. Like a horizontal menu.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's very good.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. So you can have a lot. Now, what's even crazier, it's just like a plus plus plus, is that this actually powers the the mobile menu. It's the same menu. So if you actually come down and you switch to your mobile menu, that is the same freaking menu in here.
Oh, wow.
Now those menu links, the footer links, are not part of the mobile menu.
The mobile, yeah.
I could add that. But the template, this template that came from Massimo, I haven't altered its logic. I've left it the way it was and just.
Hey, you don't need too much. I mean, mobile's a tiny screen. How much info can you squeeze in? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's pretty crazy. I mean, this is a lot of fun. But let's look into the actual logic. I mean, I think that's what's actually a lot of fun to look at is like, okay, how would someone build that? Because if you thought that that's one loop, it's not. It's actually two loops. So this first part here is it's an accordion menu. And inside of this accordion menu, I have this little pen here. That's a dynamic menu. So this is your first loop. And I'm sorting it by order. So the order function allows you to set the order of the menu items. Still waiting for that drag and drop, Joe. And once we have the drag and drop, that'll be much easier. And then yeah, simply for this part, there's a condition is that enabled? That's that first toggle. I'll just slide this over for a sec. So that first toggle, is it enabled? That puts the item on the page. The second one is the drop down enabled. And that drop down will switch out the menu item for a menu launcher to actually launch that drop down. And then inside of this is just, the that little tick, the down angle tick, and your macros. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now for the drop down, it's actually down here near the bottom. We got this drop down menu. And this is where it gets a little fancy. So in here, again, we have the loop. And then inside of that loop is the enable. And inside of that enable is the drop down enable. And then from there, it enables all of this code inside of here. So the first thing is the CSS. Now this is actually the background swatch CSS all put out in plain. So I've exported out all the swatch CSS so that we can go in here, create a dynamic ID for each dropdown. And then we have like the position settings in here. We have the image in here. We have the contain or cover setting in here. So we're just swapping out and actually putting in raw CSS for those toggles and those options here, which is, I think, pretty neat. Yeah, so these are all dynamic to each menu item. It gets an ID for that. So then when it loops through that dropdown, if we were to go back up here to the top for a second and go, okay, how did we link that? So in this dropdown launcher, you see here, we put the ID into the dropdown ID. And down here at the bottom is in that dropdown, we have the ID in here as well. Did someone say that it's too small? The text is too small to read? Should I change my resolution?
Yeah, I guess Zoom, it only allowed me to stream at 720. There was no other options.
Here, let me quickly just change my resolution.
Oh, and look at that. Ask and thou shalt receive, Matthias.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's drop it down to there we go. Let's see how that looks.
Don't you always have a display at like 1920 or something like that?
I do, but it's a dashboard right now.
Oh, okay.
I got 3 screens here, but no, yeah, I do have a 1921.
You get a screen, and you get a screen.
You get a screen. Everyone gets a screen. And then I have my iPad with the chat over here open on the side. It's funny. All right. We don't need the library. All right. How is that size? Is that better?
You posted a smiley face, so I think that's better.
Perfect. All righty. And I'll just make this a little smaller.
You're the man.
Yeah, make sure everybody gets to see. So yeah, so as I was saying up here in this initial loop, the launcher ID comes from the menu item ID, and then that's tied to the drop down here, which also gets the ID when it loops through the drop down. So then that ties the launcher.
What is DD? Why don't we so what is that DD.ID? That you're loading that as a variable, correct?
Yeah, so in here I have because I didn't want them to interfere with each other. So this top one that is DM for the loop variable that I set for this. And then
Just
for,
curious, what is DM? Why DM? I
it
just
was a
curious.
desktop menu, and then I realized it was actually,
Okay,
yeah,
got
yeah, desktop
it.
menu. And then DD was drop down.
Okay, cool.
So
I would just so I can know the logic. That's interesting.
yeah, yeah, that's how I make my variables, is kind of describing what it is so that I understand,
Yep.
okay, I'm in the drop down, so these are the DD
Yep.
logic.
Cool.
Yeah, and then each column, well, now what's really cool, I did do something neat on the columns logic here. So you see when just three columns, there's this divider in between the two of them.
Hmm.
So with those toggles for each column, um, inside of this is a columns pro. So there's a column inside, then there's the column enable for the menu inside,
Hmm.
and then there's a loop deck that loops through that. And
Hmm.
that's the same for a second menu. But for the third menu, or the third column, because it's a divider, it's outside of the column, I put the conditional completely around the
Oh, nice.
taller than the
Clever.
divider and the column. And then
Yeah.
on the else is just the column by itself.
Got it. Clever.
So yeah, so it's a little clever. So I like the design of that divider. I
Yeah.
mean, if you really wanted to, you could actually add an additional toggle to toggle
Hmm.
on and off the divider if you
Yeah.
really wanted it or not.
Yeah.
But I just included it inside of that column divider.
Yeah.
But then
Just to show
internally,
people at the top, just to go over how you're linking the drop down to the link. I think that's a good thing for people to know.
you just missed that. I just did that.
Well, I know, but you went really fast over it, so I just wanted to make sure
Sure.
that people saw that because I know it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
so
So
he's using a menu launcher, right?
yeah,
And
menu
that
launcher.
launcher,
Now let's
uh,
pull ID here. Where's that ID? Where did I put? Over here. So
yeah,
this here,
TCMS.
IDs, yes, TCMS. So in this first loop, the launcher ID, that's going to put in there TCMS into that ID for the launcher.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then down at the bottom, the drop down it's a different loop, but it's still pulling the ID from that same collection
Yeah.
and it's injecting it into this drop down ID. So as
Yep.
every
Perfect.
drop down is created, the button and the link are tied to each other.
Exactly. Very good. Yeah. And
And
then
then,
in the conditionals there, I noticed that you have just go to one of those conditionals, right? Just if people, because that's the enable, right? Those are the toggles, correct? So
yeah.
that's DD C1 underscore enable, right? So
Mhm.
what that is DD is the iteration of your loop, and then C1 underscore enable is the name of one of those toggles, right? Column
Yeah.
one enable, I assume, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So in here, you'll actually have the toggle C1 enable.
Yep.
And
And so
that's
what that rule does, everybody, it just says uh, he has just the variable in there, right? So it's just like, hey, is this true or false? So that's a really easy way to do like toggles, So you could be like, hey, is this on or off? Is this toggle on or off? Right. So yeah, cool. I like it,
and
dude.
and
Super
then
powerful.
as we scroll down here, we have the foot one. And again, this has just got a visibility for the line inside of the conditional. And then we have the menu, and it's again just loops through this menu, and this is a horizontal menu.
Hmm.
And then that does the links along the bottom.
And those are all on the bottom. Cool.
Yeah,
Love
so
it.
it's really cool. So it's like one collection, two loops, creating the menus across the top, and then also secretly creating all of the drop down areas,
Hmm.
and it just creates them all on the fly. Uh,
Exactly.
which is really, really, really cool. I think this one's it was a lot of fun, and I was able to do this one in like a couple hours. Just had to logic through it. And what's really nice, what I love, Joe, about Total CMS 3 is the fact that like I'm over here on the side creating these schemas, and as I'm thinking through it, I can quickly adapt those schemas, edit those fields, add, remove fields, and it really makes things so much easier to make. And this whole logic for these can have these conditionals and these loops. I've even extended that down into like even this little like bar here. So this little bar is actually a moving box inside, and it's looping through two little text collections, and it's just scrolling up and down as well. So like everything that you can think of can become a collection, and you can loop through it. And I think with feeds, I was always like, oh, have you heard about feeds? Now it's like, so have you thought about how you could loop this? That's kind of where I'm at now in my life. It's like, can this be looped? But I would love to
That's
show
good
something that's
advertising.
very non-conventional, something that you wouldn't have thought you would use a collection for. I actually haven't showed this. I don't even think I told you about this. So this homepage that we're on right now has this section that's called Our Work. And it's a standalone section. The content on this section is used nowhere else on this website. It's strictly just like this beautiful scrolling through section. Um, and let me just reload this page quickly because I think some of it didn't, or maybe it's just too big. Yeah, it might be too big. Scroll through, and then you get down to the sponsor. So from this right here to from here all the way up to this intro section here is Our Work. And typically, you would then, if you looked at it in the Total CMS one terms, that's not a blog. So you would do like one text string, one header string, one description section string, and you'd have all these separate pieces,
Mhm.
completely separate. And I was like, well, while that's fun and all, what if I just created a collection which will only have one object in it, but it's just this section? Like,
Mm.
why not? Because now if
Yeah.
I'm coming in here and I want to edit this whole section, instead of jumping around to like all the text, image, and
Mm.
all the different collections and toggle collections, why wouldn't I just make a schema for this one section and then allow you to come in there and edit that? And that's
Yeah.
what I've done.
Especially if it's important. I mean, it's on the homepage, right? So it's definitely important enough to warrant that level of management. Makes sense.
Yeah, and especially some of these repeating elements where I have like this news section with these glassy blog posts, and then you get down to the sponsor section, and you have um, these glassy posts here. They're very similar. So like I have a collection that's just all these list sections, and you can come in
Hmm.
here and you can just go into like the news, and you can then enable the header. If you want to link underneath it, you can turn that on and off, and it's just like super simple.
Yep.
But then there's the Our Work section. So the Our Work section is simply just a one object. You'll never have two objects, just the one object. And in here, that's what this is. So you can go through from the top and top down. So you got your small header, your description. If you want a button to be turned on and off, button text, and the link. We've got the images. Now, this because of the way this design was, I probably could have done the alt text, but I didn't. I just had a separate text field. It was faster for me to do it this way. So I just had like the image, the caption, and this allows them to quickly just drag. Because I'm thinking of like from the user perspective on this specific page, they're just
Hmm.
going to come in, drag in new images, and quickly change the text. I don't need them going into like alt text and switching that around if they don't
Okay.
need. So yeah, so in this case, I did it this way, but that was not necessary. But what's really cool is like I've loaded these images in, and they've got crop focal point. So even still, like this is a portrait image, and you see in here we have like a landscape image. So it will automatically always fit into that zone based off focal point. So it's really neat that you
Curious,
can
did
just
you customize those focal points, or
yeah
did is or are you just
yeah.
lucky that it just worked out?
I probably not. I don't know. It was locked out. Yeah, I didn't even switch that one. Um, but they had some images. I did replace some of the images from the initial design,
Hmm.
but yeah, I kind of lucked out in a
Okay.
way.
Cool.
Yeah, it worked out pretty nice. And yeah, so then all of those sections, and then of course all of these other sections here, all of that, and they all have links, so they're all linkable. And yeah, it's simply pre-made, all grouped together, and I don't have to go through and find all these separate settings for all of it. So I thought this was interesting because I don't know if anyone would have done that. And when I was looking at it, I was like, well, I just want all of this stuff together. So now you can just make a custom collection, put that schema in, and boom, like the whole thing is pre-made and
Hmm.
you're good to go. And I thought
Nice.
that was an interesting thought process. 'Cause I don't think most people would have looked at it that way.
Sweet.
And yeah, that's how that got made. And then um, we get down here, the sponsors. This is its own collection. Actually, this entire page is full CMS. Everything on this page can be changed. So we have sponsors. That's its own collection. there. And then the footer. The footer is a great place to use a loop. Here's another loop. So the footer itself has very similar logic where you can create a new section and you add the links to that section and you can resort them. You can drag these and put them in any order that you want them to be in. Um, and you just set the column, what column that you want it to be in, one, two, or three. And yeah, the footer is even Total CMS. Everything on this page is Total CMS and can be changed without ever opening up stacks.
Nice.
Yeah, I really
So
like it.
good.
This is one of my favorite projects. Is there any questions on that?
No, just people saying they're very super impressed. Well, we'll give you a break. I'll show off some stuff here. Okay,
Yeah.
let me show off. All right. Actually, before I share here, I'll reduce my screen resolution too, since give me a second. All right. Oh, Jesus, that's big. A little. All right, let's see how good I can work at this resolution. This resolution's really big. Okay.
I know. I went down. I was like, ew, what is this?
Holy crap. Okay. Well, let me resize this window. I I want as big as I can go, guys. All right. Holy shoot. Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's go here. Let me move Wash out of the way. All right. Um, hey, so as you guys probably saw, okay, um, Josh was using dark mode, okay, on the dashboard, and pretty cool. That is like literally hot off the press. Um, I haven't released it yet. Obviously, it'll be in the next beta. And yeah, I like it. I think it works pretty good. You know, it especially if you're working late at night, dark mode, it's pretty nice. I do have to admit. I'm sure there's going to be some issues here or there. We're going to find a couple things. I think I fixed most of the things that Josh has helped me find already. Um, yeah, if we go to, I don't know, let's go to one of these bad boys here, right? So yeah, I fixed the toggle a little bit, Josh. It's a little bit better, right? Um, so yeah, toggles. Another thing that Josh found was where were tags? I don't have any tags in here. Uh, I think I fixed tags. Hold on. Hello,
Working.
what happened? My browser just froze. What the heck?
That's the worst.
Let's just go here. All right. I think those tags. No, that's not tags. Oh, well, whatever. There's dark mode. Now, I think dark mode is really cool. But there are some times where I have my OS in dark mode all the time. But there are some times where you're like, you know what? I kind of want to use light mode. Like maybe if you're doing a screen, a live stream, it might be nice for people to always be in light mode, right? So I think Josh just missed what I did. So
I did miss
and
what you.
what's kind of
How did
cool
you
is
do that?
now my OS is in dark mode, but uh my dashboard is always in light mode. And there's this cool little toggle where
Oh,
you
I
can
didn't
have
even.
auto, light, and dark. Um, yeah, pretty cool. I like that. So I literally just did this like less than an hour ago. So yeah, I thought that was
Yeah,
pretty cool. And it
my
saves. You
my
can close.
appreciation.
I can close my browser and I can come back. Right, come back to it, and it remembers my decision. So pretty slick. Um, so yeah. Let me move this out of the way. It's annoying. Wish I can move this little annotate tool from Zoom. Oh, I can move it around my screen. Let's move it over here. Okay, cool. Okay, some other cool new stuff. Um, you've probably noticed a couple new icons on the side here. Okay. And let's go ahead and look at the first one. And this is something called templates. And what are templates? Um, my original vision for templates was for two ideas. It was for customizing the dashboard, okay, and email. I thought it was a good thing for email. However, as I was developing the email thing yesterday, email got its own cool little man, I wish I could stop it from like opening all the time on hover. It drives me nuts. Email got its own little special case. So we'll review that in a little bit. But right now, the primary use case for templates is going to be white label that I'm going to show you today, but we can use it for other things. Okay. So there are different first off, I guess in the docs, if you go to the docs in white label, there's going to be a whole bunch of different templates that you can create. Okay. So login above and login below. This allows you to customize the login page. Okay. So you can add stuff above and below the login form. We also have the download off for above and below. So if you ever have a file protected download or password protected download, you can add stuff to the top and bottom of those forms as well. Then we have some stuff for the dashboard. So we have the ability to customize the logo, this logo right here. We have the ability to customize the home page, which is when you click on that, the home page there. And then we have some stuff that isn't necessarily visible, but allows you to customize the dashboard to your liking. And that is going to be admin head and admin body below. Okay. And the docs here will kind of show you some examples and maybe give you some use cases. But we'll look at some of those right now. Okay. So let's go ahead and I'm just gonna we're gonna copy this. And I'm gonna go ahead and create a new template. Okay, and I'm gonna call it to white label stuff, you have to put it in white label. So you have to call it white label slash and then admin dash home. Okay, I'm just gonna paste that in there. We're gonna save it. Okay. And you'll notice that because I put kind of a path with a folder, that's kind of how we organize templates. Okay. So now if I go to this home folder or the home page, you'll notice that that entire homepage is gone and it only contains the content that I put in admin home. So this allows you to completely customize the homepage, which is really, really nice.
You can
Okay.
have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah. Now it is just straight HTML. So yes, it definitely is advanced. There is no stacks stuff and all that jazz, right? You can't build it with stacks. And I guess you could build maybe some stack stuff and then export it and
You
hack
could
it. But
actually
yeah,
you could actually just throw an iframe in there and have a good day.
aha, there you go. Nice.
Actually, I did that. You can build a whole wiki and embed it as your dashboard page.
Check
I'll
you out.
I'll show
Check
you.
you out.
I'll show you later. I did that on one of my.
Okay, cool. Or we'll do one more here. We'll do admin logo just to kind of show you what that is. Okay. I'm going to copy that. Let's create a new template. And then we're going to do white label slash admin dash logo. And I'm just going to paste this bad boy in. Okay. And let's save it. Okay. So up there, we'll see now that Total CMS logo changed to a little elephant. Okay. Now, some caveats if you're using this admin logo. Okay. It has to be inside this little link. So it has to be in a link and it has to have a class of custom logo. Okay. So that is a requirement or else it's not going to work well for you. Okay. This custom logo will basically make sure that it's sized properly so that it kind of looks like it fits within the icon bar here. Okay. So yeah, and that is all documented in the docs page. So you don't need to remember that. It is documented there if you're going to use custom logo. Okay. So there we go. Let's go ahead and we're going to put that back. Put the original one back.
You can also put a URL on that, which is really cool. Is I had it on mine. I changed the logo, but I also still forwarded it to the dashboard page. So
Oh,
it was
okay.
still going to the dashboard page, like the default one, but it had a custom logo, which you can do as well.
Nice. Perfect. Other things that you can use for templates. I mean, so templates are essentially importable anywhere, right? So I will once I ship this, I'll probably have a stack that lets you include a template on a page. Okay. Templates can contain twig. Okay, so you can add logic. That's kind of how they differ from, let's say, a text area, right? Because you might be thinking, what's the difference between this and the ability just to create a text object, right? I can have text here. How is that different than a template? Well, the template is different because it can actually contain twig, right? So, oh, and this, oh, here's an example where um, I helped Josh customize this. He had multiple user collections for a site, and he wanted to be able to customize the login page depending on the collection the user was logging into. Okay. Um, and so essentially what this does is it uses Twig to say, hey, if the collection is users, then display this message, else display welcome admin, right? Because if you're not logging into the users, then you're logging into the auth admin collection. So yeah. So
And
if it
what's
were to
really
do,
fun too is you can have, in the one project I was working on, I actually have the admin auth, like the admin auth, the user auth, and a business auth. So then you could have the business login page look more professional, have more styling versus the
Mhm.
user, which is really nice.
Sweet. So yeah, you can contain all kinds of twig in here, and you can, any of these you can hear. If we like go into here, right? I could be like, I don't know. Let's say on this, I wanted to have um, cms.svg um, logo. Okay. So let's say you wanted that, right? Actually, a perfect use case for this. Let's say we saved our SVG that we wanted up here. Okay. Into the CMS. Now, in my example here, let's go ahead and this one. If you notice in this example here, I actually put the SVG in here. Okay. But let's say I saved this SVG into my CMS because I want to use it throughout my pages and whatnot, right? So essentially what you could do is you could just boom, do that. And so that way, if you were to ever update the SVG in the CMS in your collection, okay, in the SVG collection, it'll automatically update here as well, right? So super useful there. Here, I'll save that. So I don't forget. So yeah, templates super useful. You'll be able to import them. You can even think of these as kind of like partials, okay? Because you can actually include other templates inside templates. So you can do that. Obviously, you don't want to do a circular dependency. You're gonna break your site. Okay, so yeah, don't do circular dependencies where this requires this and that requires that. Right? Don't want to do that. Very bad. But there you go. It's templates. Okay. Let me see if there's any questions on that. If you need to do a wholesale change of the home page, you can create a second object to do a draft version and swap them out when the time is right.
Yeah, so what he was talking about when I was doing that our home section, essentially I could have turned on the toggle for enable and then have a new section that you could actually draft and prep, and then you could switch one off and switch the other one on. Um, Interesting thought. Or another thought I was thinking too is you could actually have, if you implement the two date fields, start and finish
Mm-hmm.
dates, you could actually have that area be dynamic to the date so that like
Mm-hmm.
you could set that section of the site that's live. Say you have a sale, right? You could
Mm-hmm.
actually have, and this is something for total, like for my Stacks Weaver site. When I have a sale, I could go in there, create a new object, and show it from this date to this date, and then automatically that language comes off the
Yep.
site.
Definitely. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at this new email management. Okay, now I do have to say this is still a work in progress. Um, while I think the UI is done, the actual email capabilities isn't working yet. But I'll give you guys a sneak peek on what things are. Okay, so here we can create emails. Here I have one email created. You have it active or deactivate it, right? Has an ID. You give it a name. You can categorize it just so it organizes things over here. You can give it a description. This is just for you. Okay, so all this data up here is pretty much for you, so you can see what it is and describe it and all that jazz. Down here is where you have all of your email content, right? So you have who this email is going to, who's it from, the names, reply to, CCs. Okay, you have a subject, a body, and plain text. Now, what's cool, okay, is how would I use these emails? So one thing will be you will be able to have it as an action to a form. So let's say I create a new user that is a total CMS form that's going to create a new user in the CMS. You can essentially then have an action that will send an email, maybe a welcome email, right? And that welcome email will go to that user. And what's cool, you might be thinking, well, Joe, if I put an email address in here, it's going to be hard coded. Well, you can actually use Twig in these, right? So if you see in this help, you can actually use Twig. So if I were to do data dot, let's say I have the form field to email. Okay, let's say I did that. Okay, or it should probably just be email, right? So essentially, if the form had a property email, you just do data dot and then the property name, or the data that's sent, and then that'll put it in here. Okay, most of these fields support. The from does not, though. I don't allow you to override that with Twig. The from email is something that's hard coded. Okay. Now by default, you can override, but there are a default from and from name. If you leave these blank, it'll use it from the SMTP settings, which I'll show you those in a little bit. Okay. But yeah, all of these fields support Twig. Okay, as well as the subject and the body. Now the body, obviously, if you didn't know, email supports both HTML and plain text versions. So you can supply one or both. So you can have an HTML and fall back to a plain text. Okay, and
So I
all
can
of that
pull all
supports
my
Twig.
I can pull my Sendy information in the export out of sorry, not Sendy, email stacks. So I can use
Correct.
email stacks
Yep.
code, put it in there.
Yep. You could build your email using the email stacks, paste the HTML version here, paste the plain text version here, and you're good. Okay. And so if I load an existing email, okay, when you have an email loaded, there will be a test email option down at the bottom that you can then supply it data that will then populate like the data dot whatever things, right? This doesn't work yet, so I can't. That's where I left this off. So this has the ability for you to send a email as a test. Maybe eventually we might get to bulk, so you could like send to everyone in a collection or something like that. But for right now, we're just gonna tackle sending a single email. Okay. So yeah, pretty cool here. There's a lot of possibilities that we can do with this. Let me give you an example of what I'm going to be using this for. If you remember, I am building that camping website. Although I'll be honest, it's been a while since I've worked on it. Most because the last big thing I needed was this. Okay. And so when a new member joins the club, okay, or that camping club, they are going to get an email, and that email is going to have an image of a membership card embedded into it. But not that, and that image of the membership card will be watermarked with the name of the person that just joined. So remember, I don't know, a couple months ago, I implemented text watermarking. Well, guess why I did that? Because I needed that feature, right? I needed to be able to watermark this member's name on top of this image of a membership card, so that they get an email, which is what I'm building now, that will contain that image with their unique membership card. Pretty cool. And that
Very
will
cool.
all be possible here.
Are they using that membership card for access to things?
Um, Not really. I mean, it's mostly just to make people feel good.
Yeah, because on that, because you have it built into your CMS, would be really cool. Because I was thinking of that social club website I have for the bus drivers.
Mm-hmm.
Is that I'm working with their team, and they're looking to start going to local businesses to
Mm-hmm.
offer discounts to members of the social club. And so we're
Mm,
building a digital version of their card so they sign in and like the card will have like animating background so you can't just screenshot it. The card has
mm,
to be like active so when you sign in you'll be able to quickly see member card. It will pop up on the screen and it will have
mm-hmm.
like a digital design that's like it's live so it's not just you can't just show a screenshot.
Very
uh,
cool.
Very cool, yeah, and then that'll be all be powered from the CMS like this.
Sweet. One thing that I'll have to think about how it can be possible, but I thought it would be cool if we could like embed a QR code on there as well somehow. Because Total CMS can create QR codes, but right now, getting that QR code and embedding that onto an image, I think would be a really cool thing. I don't know. Not sure how we'd accomplish that, but something I'm thinking about for the future.
on
So anyway,
on my
that's pretty
on
much
my
email.
side with the digital card I'm
Mm-hmm.
using haven't released it yet but my barcode stuck
Ah,
to,
nice.
to do
There we
barcode and
go.
it'll have a scan.
Okay. Any questions on emails? You got any questions on emails, Josh? I mean, it's pretty straightforward.
No,
Right? You
I
can
think
and you can save as many emails as you want.
I'm
Um,
assuming that like there'll be an option for me to like um we'll be utilizing this for like password reset capabilities or
yes. Yes. So, I do plan on having although, I didn't think about creating a template that you could use for that. I was just going to create one. But I guess we can create an email template that if you have it created,
yeah,
we could, yeah.
like you could have a
Okay.
default one and then if I wanted to customize that email to make it look
That's
fancier
that's a very good idea. I didn't even think about that. But yes,
or
that is on my
or
to-do list.
or instead of it being an email template because it's like you need that field to like the click through to reset your password. Maybe it's just like one of those login above, login below
Yeah.
templates. Maybe like that. Yeah.
Marcelo asked for the ability to have QR codes in emails. Well, Marcelo, so in the HTML email, remember you can use Twig, and Twig supports at least Twig inside Total CMS supports QR codes. So you can put in QR codes into the email. What I was talking about is like embedding it onto an image, like basically watermarking an image with a QR code, which I think would be an interesting idea. But before we have that, you can already put in a QR code into the email that is dynamically generated by Total CMS. Pretty cool. Yeah, and if you go into here, there's QR codes and barcodes as options. Okay. QR and I will have to say QR codes is I have to list all these out, but QR codes will be available in the standard edition. Barcodes is going to be in the pro edition. Okay. So just to let you guys know about that. And I'll be pretty soon be telling you guys all the various stuff. I forget it all off the top of my head. Okay, but there's a few things that are going to be limited based on the features that you have. Okay. All right, next up is utilities. Okay. Or, I'm sorry, settings.
Well, Joe,
Um
before you get into
yes.
that, so Steve Jones just posted like this can replace my feeds and email stacks newsletter system. Um, with that, so are we able to start generating? Like, I have a collection of blog posts. Can I generate an? Is that going to allow me to generate an email with
Yes.
multiple
So
posts and
so you
stuff?
can have Twig in here that would loop through your blog posts and put in the most recent 3 blog posts.
Yeah.
So because the twig is processed live right now, whenever it's sent, yeah, then that email will always get the latest 3 blog posts whenever it's sent.
So, Stephen, what you could do is you could go into email stacks. You would still design your email and email stacks, design your sections that would be looped. You could temporarily put in something like a loop in there to loop through your collections just to preview and generate it. And then those sections with Twig, you could copy it out of email stacks and then to modify that Twig in here to loop through those templates.
Yep.
So you could still build your email stacks, but then you would be doing all the fancy looping stuff in here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Matthias asked for templates will be included in these are all pretty new. I think about it a little bit. My initial thoughts are white labels. White labeling is going to be a pro thing. Okay. But you will have, I believe, standard. Not sure about light, but white label will be pro. Standard will definitely have access to templates, but not necessarily the white labeling. Okay. Of the dashboard. Um, and in terms of email, I'm thinking everyone's going to have access to email. If I ever do that bulk emailer, that'll probably be a pro feature. That's my current thinking. Okay.
I think that
I
makes
mean,
sense.
literally, I just built this email thing yesterday, and I have to admit, it is 100 times different than what I originally envisioned it to be. It's going to be a very full-fledged, powerful thing. So, yeah. But I believe everyone's going to have access to email. But whenever I do the bulk email thing, it
Now,
will probably be a
is there
pro.
going to be like an API access to that email template? Like, say I have an external cart system, and I want it to pull that email template to email out. Is there a way to
Yes,
pull HTML?
there is an API. And what you all you'll need to know is, so this is actually why I a little bit of backstory here. Originally, I was going to create an API where then you could like via the API you can say who's this email to, who's it from. You can like all this stuff would be supplied via the API, right? Um, but the more I thought about it, that is a huge security hole, because if anyone figured out your API, then they could just fucking send email to anybody, right?
Yeah,
Right?
that could be a little insane.
Yeah, right. So yeah, pretty crazy. That would be pretty nuts. So what you do is you build your email out here. You define everything that you need, and then what you need is this email ID. And so this is going to be a unique ID that's specific to this one email. And then with the API call, which that API will be documented, yeah, you'll be able to say, hey, send this email. Here's the data that's for that email, and that's it. Right? There's no SMTP or email information, defined in that API request. You have to know this explicit email address or this email ID. So, but yes, that should be possible.
Cool. That's very cool.
Okay, let's dive into settings.
Look at this fancy settings panel.
Yeah. So if you remember, settings was just a single form before. And I was planning on delaying this until after launch, like redesigning all of this. But I needed the SMTP settings. Okay. So because I needed SMTP, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to bite the bullet and design it all now. So now we have nicely sectioned off settings for a lot of different things. So you could turn on and off various, settings. So yeah, it's really nice. We have some authentication stuff for like max login attempts and the keep me logged in, how many days, cache. You can enable various things. If you have Redis, what is the username and password and all that jazz. Josh, for Better Site Host, this is what you need now to use Redis on that.
Perfect.
Okay. So yeah, you'll configure your host, your port, your password. Um, dashboard settings. These are going to be the browser title. So I put in the name of my domain because I have multiple ones. So you're going to want to make sure that you know what's what. I just put in the domain, but you can put in actual text in here. And then the dashboard pagination. One thing I wanted to add for this, I will have one color control in here that will control that accent color that's used throughout the dashboard. Currently, it's blue, like the tag color, so you'll be able to customize what that color is here. Okay, so that's one thing that I'm going to add to this dashboard settings is that accent color. Some HTML sanitation. So like for style text and whatnot, there are certain things that get stripped. Okay. And this allows you to define if you leave this blank, everything is allowed. Okay. But if you wanted to limit things down, you can limit. Okay. ImageWorks. This is where you can define the watermarks gallery, the watermark font gallery or depot, and various other things. The image presets, super cool. I bet you not most of you probably don't even know about that, but ImageWorks presets are really cool. Okay.
Yeah, I was
Um,
wondering where those, because I saw that. I was watching one of the videos and I didn't realize there's presets and how you could configure that. So nice.
yes. Yeah. So really quick, I guess. So these presets allow you to predefine things. Okay. For images. So let's go into, my goodness. Let's go into the image gallery or an image. Let's go into this one. Okay. And if I go into this link tool, okay, you'll notice, there's this preset here. Okay. And all my presets that I've defined in there show up here. So I had a small crop. And if I just do preview now, okay, that did modify this image. Okay. And you'll notice that it just used my preset. Actually, probably what I want to do is I want to delete the width so that it only uses the crop. There we go. Okay. So there's small crop. So now it's only using that preset. And
Oh,
what's
so it
kind of
even
cool is,
links, so it actually links that. So if you went and updated your template, all of your macros that have,
yes, correct.
oh, okay, that's kind of cool. That's really cool. Like we're working on this, I think Hubertus is watching. We're working on this photography site. This could be extremely useful that if you wanted to preset your typical thumbnails, your typical,
Yep,
and then if you want to make those adjustments, you could just change. Imagine like just adding in crop focal point and you just
exactly.
modify the preset. That is okay. I didn't know about that. That's pretty cool. That
So,
alone is a good enough reason to upgrade from Total CMS 1.
so yeah, presets really cool. Okay. Um, and okay, settings. So that was ImageWorks. Um, and then Mailer. This is just some stuff just to, in case someone does figure out any sort of email thing, that you can actually apply limits to, emails that go out. So right now, the defaults are you can limit an IP address 10 times in 5 minutes, and per individual emails 50 times in 5 minutes. Okay, so there's some rate limiting going on. You can also put in trusted domains. So if you want to only make sure you send emails to these particular domains, you can do that as well. So if you put in an email address to any other domain, it won't go because it's not a part of the whitelist. So yeah, just some. I thought I thought it was a good idea to have a little bit of controls, so that we're not potentially doing any harm. Okay.
It's really nice.
And then the SMTP settings. Okay. And I mentioned earlier, this is the default from and default address names here. You can also have a default to address. I don't know. It's there. So if you don't supply a to address, this is going to be a default to address. Okay.
I mean, you probably could use that for something like testing, right? If you
Yeah.
just supply, and then it could just fire off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So that's all. That's the settings. A couple other things that I've done to the dashboard. Okay. You've probably noticed that these headings now are collapsible. Okay. But what's kind of cool is not only are they collapsible, but if you switch pages and go back, it remembers that I collapsed it. Okay.
Not gonna lie, when I was playing with that today, I was like, "This is all," because like one collection is all the way at the bottom of
Yeah.
like 30 some collections. So I closed everything, and then when I switched back and it was still closed, I was like, "Yes."
Yes, I explicitly made it so that it remembers whether or not it's open or closed.
I,
And it took me a while, actually. If you notice, like there's like almost no jump at all.
no, it's actually
Yeah,
pretty good.
yeah, it's
Pretty
it's
quick.
it's pretty good. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I think that was I was noticing as people, especially Josh, was doing more and more, and he had a ton of groups and a lot of schemas and a lot of stuff. Yeah, making these collapsible is a win, and they're
Yeah.
collapsible everywhere. Okay, so they should be collapsible everywhere.
Yeah, that one car website is got a lot of collections.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
Another kind of a minor thing. I found that if you look at your schema, what is currently shipped, okay, the icons for schemas weren't actually the schema icon. the basically the default icon for everything was this collection icon. So if I didn't explicitly give it an icon for something, like everything was had this collection icon. And I thought that was not great because sometimes I'd be in a schema view, and because the icon had the collection view icon, psychologically it made me forget kind of where I was and confused me. So I think, I went through and made sure that everything has its own kind of unique icon. Yeah, so that it kind of brings you into that, hey, I'm in a certain space, right? So there we go.
I totally did not notice that. Nice. Looks good.
Yeah. Let's see what else. What else we got? Josh, I know you have to get going pretty soon. Is there any cool stuff you
Yeah,
want to show off before you leave? Or
yeah.
man, it's already 11:30. You might have to go now.
No, I got 20. I got 22 minutes.
Okay.
I usually halfway through the stream I have to bounce out. I mean, I can kind of show off this. I kind of showed this off on Friday. The BYD stuff. That one's quite the project. I kind of want to. I'll show this off. I really want people to really understand on the professional side how far you can really push Total CMS, because I'm pushing it really, really far. Share this here. There you go. So I'm building this car site, and I'm going to kind of scroll through this page. This is a post page. And everything on this page is being pulled from a collection. All the content, all the images, all of these images. And yeah, it's when you look through it and how this is built, it's pretty crazy. I mean, there's built-in video, ton of text, ton of images, specifications. I mean, on its own, this page, just like this, 100% could never be built easily in Total CMS 1. And I just don't think in general you would be able to do that. Now, add in the fact that this page is 3 languages, and all of that content is in Chinese and Cambodian. And of course, I got kicked out. One sec, I gotta. Let me just pause it. Is my screen sharing paused? I think it is. Can you see my screen right now, or is it paused?
I don't see anything moving.
Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. I can copy my passwords.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah, you just a pause button in your screen share.
I've never used that. I should definitely use that.
Yeah, it's so
There's
cool.
so many times I'm like, shoot, I just brought that up on screen and
So you can hit pause. I just brought up paste and it paused the screen. So
nice.
Anyways, it logged me out there. So so this now entire page is now in Chinese and all of this content. And when you look at the level of content, like from specifications and all of this, how does one even approach building a page like this? Let me show you. I'll give you a brief, quick run through. It starts off with a vehicle collection, and in here we have essentially, I would consider this the brochure collection. This is like your generic specs, your generic photos, your text, all of your pizzazz about the car. And sections in here have like, your 3 languages. So your feature title in 3 languages. You've got your basic images. You've got your QR codes. You have a whole bunch of different sections, some highlight sections, photos. I think even the video is in here. And the one thing about the video I really want to show, and here's your gallery. I mean, this whole collection is huge. I think there's 120 some fields in this collection alone. And if I can get down to wherever this video is, find it. I mean, I actually have to see where it is. I probably went past it. I think I did a video link. It's crazy. You know what? I'm not even going to find. Oh, here it is. Video
There
link.
it is.
So we have the logic here. So what's really cool is we've actually linked the video through a Publito, like a streaming service to host the videos. So it's pretty nice. But you see down here, we've actually hijacked even some of the CSS for Video Pro because the videos we get aren't all the same resolution. And so what's really neat is we're actually hijacking a couple of the containers around Video Pro and Video Pro itself with the CSS. So in here, we're actually setting the video width so there's no black bars on the video ever. It's always exactly the way we want it. And I thought that was neat. But, you know, we were
One
looking
thing
at
you could do, just to pause you, I see you have a toggle there for use video link, right?
you could do
What you could do is you could have a logic that says, hey, if the video URL is there, you know,
yeah,
then
well,
use it. But the
although the
toggle
fact-
gives you the ability to turn it on and off whenever, even if one is
yeah,
defined.
the reason why is that there's might be a temporary replacement video that they would just drag in here. So then you'd have the ability to manually make that switch and keep both in there, which I thought was cool. But one thing we didn't see is like, okay, where are we storing these specs? Where are we storing these languages? How is that even happening? So at the very top of this collection, or sorry, this object, there is a section here for trims. Now, a vehicle will come in more than just one trim. So in here, you have the ability to select a trim. And so we see here, we've got this trim. So let's flip over to the trim collection. And in this one, this is where it gets really, really, really cool. So in the trim, you name your trim, you set up the basic settings, basic trim settings, all your measurements. And then we get down to like these configurations, like this new energy, safety, security. You'll see here that it's just select lists. And so what we've done here is we've set this to be able to pull from a completely separate collection. So if we scroll down the side here, we see here we actually have vehicle config, vehicle specs. So most of these vehicles, some of them are a lot of crisscross of like features that they share. They use the same parts in some of the cars. So why would we go in and enter this information every time we create a new car? It takes like 2 hours to enter a car into the inventory, right? It's ridiculous. So why don't we just take all of those basic features, separate them out into its own collection, and just pull them in? And what that allows us to do is, like, for instance, we select this battery temperature control system. We've linked it in. So if we go into the new energy and we go into this power battery temperature control system, when you click into this object, there is your 3 languages and your 3 descriptions. So that even allows you to hover, and we have a tip, and I don't know if the tip's on, actually. It's a good question. Oh, there it is. Look at that tip with your glass swatch. that is your glass swatch, by the way. It's really cool.
Nice.
A tip with glass. So you can actually hover over these and get some additional information on those things, and it's all stored in these separate collections. So we're pulling in
and not only that, but now you have common language across all your all your models, right? Correct. So if you want to update this for everything that has the power battery temperature control system, that boom, you just update it once.
Or it's like, oh, we made a mistake on the translation. Fix the translation. All the cars with that items instantly update.
Yep.
And it's also really cool is that then we could come in, edit the schema, add another language.
Yeah.
And then on the project side, it's using agent lang, and we could just modify with the additional language, and it would have all those templates. It would auto pull. So it's super flexible to be able to deploy another language super easily. But like the amount of data that is on this page times 3 languages is absolutely insane. But this is where like we're pulling in all of these different options and specs, and some of them, like, you know, like some of these don't have more than 1 option. I think like I guess drivetrain now has 3. So it is pretty cool though. It's super flexible. Like we're building something that you would never, like these trims. I mean, there's already 37 trims in here already. Right, we're talking like a massive amount of options and all of
Wow.
these here. It's like this is
So much work. Wow.
so
So
much
good.
work, and it's so good. When you scroll through this, and you're just like, damn, this is beautiful. And then like this here with this trim, you're going to be able to actually click and swap out the different trims on the page. So like it's crazy, but nothing like this is insane. Like I would never in if like ever thought this would be something that I would have been able to build. You know, it's it is amazing that this is the tools that we have, and how far you can push it. I think the logic part is like you've built this system that I don't think when Total CMS one. I think you never thought how we would abuse Total CMS one, and now I'm looking at like Total CMS three, and I'm like I don't even think how insane like it's unlimited. So you have all this power, you have all this ability that you just never had before to
Mhm.
build like massive websites. I don't know. I'm excited. Like I honestly, the last like month of just coming into work and this is what I do every day, and I play with these tools. I'm just like, it's so much fun. I had actually a meeting last week with a client, and we literally jumped on a Zoom call, and I opened up the admin and I built out the schema. We talked about the logic, how they would like to add things. So
Mhm.
on the call, I'm building the schema with them, and we had the schema done in like 15 minutes. And then I was like, boom, 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 deployed and showed how we have the logic. Here's how you're going to enter it. Here's your collection, and showed them how that's going to work. And then it was poof, done, signed off. It was like all in
Nice.
the call. I didn't have to like, oh, I'll call you back.
Re- really quick, show the color change thing on Hubertus's website if you don't mind. Can you?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
do that.
And it's
I'll go
really
do.
quick. I just think that's a really great, I mean, with one thing, how you can really change something, you know?
Yeah. And this is not even using the new color swatch stuff yet. This one's pretty cool. Um, Shout out to Hubertus. I know he's watching. So in the settings, color. So we have this primary color. I'm just going to copy this so I don't take down someone's website. It's lagging. All right. So we have these set up primary colors, secondary colors. So we can go in here and say, you know what, this primary color, we're going to make that crisp orange and save that. And yeah, as soon as we just change that color, all the green accents on this site have now changed to orange, um, which is pretty neat. Yeah, it's crazy, like how the level of control that you have and how the limitation on this really is your thought process, and I think that's where the community like really thrives here, where you can actually just go, hey, look what I built, and then
Yep.
open your eyes to more. I mean, here's a really great thing. This page we're looking on right now, here's your header, looks cool, right?
Hmm.
Well, psych, the header is actually a moving box slider, which we only have one slide in. If I just go into duplicate this slide on that home here, whoa,
Oh, that's a bug.
that's a bug. Someone is you notice this template. Someone is using your. I don't know how he got that. No. um, so now the header is actually a moving box, and so with one slide, you have no idea. Um, you have no idea that that was actually a moving box, and you could have like dynamic slides, or you could enable slides, disable slides, all from the CMS. It's crazy, like what you can think of and what you can do. It's I mean, I've had the most fun. I mean, this site was one of the first. This was the first site that I worked with somebody on building, and I mean, we've had so much fun with the way that you use Total CMS in here, and then even through building the site, so many things that you changed for us. We had to go back and change some of the first things we did because we were doing color stuff when the color stuff was broken. Right now we have color
Hmm.
swatches, and now we can actually like completely change our logic on that.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet. Someone actually just commented. I think it was Marcelo. He wanted to see the iframe embed. So this was just a test that I did. So this is the dashboard homepage for my admin on my future upcoming. And I literally injected a iframe into the page, and you can click through. It's like you can have like a whole wiki inside of your dashboard. And so yeah, you can go. You can. Oh, I just moved my mouse over to the iPad. There we go. Yeah, so you can click a collection, and if I click the logo at the top, it kicks me right back into that iframe. Hilarious. And I actually had it. I think I switched off of my dark mode to your dark mode, so there was no padding here, but I think the padding came back. So but yeah, it's cool. Like you can put in, I think in here the template. Let me just check here, admin home. Yeah, so all I did was I framed in, set the width and height, and then I'm modifying your max width. I don't think people
Yeah.
realize that when I was showing off.
Oh
I
yeah,
actually,
I didn't even show off those other ones, but yeah.
yeah, I actually modified the max width. So if you actually notice in my version, these forms go straight edge to edge. Now I can do three or four column like templates. Because no one does
Nice.
this on the phone. You don't have the mobile version yet. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's the next thing I'll harass you about. But for now, this is good. Let's just get it out the door. We'll do a mobile later. But
Yep.
yeah, this is really cool. I mean, it's a lot of fun. I don't think I've ever had this much fun building websites.
Awesome. Love it, dude. Any other questions that we missed? Let's see. He's roll away.
Yeah, is there any other things that we missed?
I don't think so. A lot of people with minds blown. That's awesome. Loving it. So what's the big thing, Josh? What's the do you have any other big features left that you're like, I really need this one thing, like anything big, or is it all just like little minor things like
I
mobile
think the
being?
last thing, I don't know if you've enabled it yet because I haven't tested it in a while, is the proper locking down of the admin area where if I have
Ah,
someone
yeah.
in the auth collection where if they don't have access to if I put on them a custom thing, a way um, that I could limit the admin area.
Yes, that's fair.
Uh, I think
Yep.
that's like the last thing. But I mean, at this point in time, um, I've done a site with two separate auth collections, one for business, one for customer, and we've been able to do all that logic, and it works perfectly fine. If we're
Yeah.
keeping them out of the admin area, that logic, all that stuff that you did for me there, I think it's perfect. I think I mean, the last thing I asked you for was password reset. I think that
Yep.
was the last thing that was on that list, and
Yeah.
you're already on your way out the door almost with that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, I think that was like the last major hurdle with one of the sites was just to be able to do that, to just
Wait.
have that password reset. Because that one site, the newspaper association, we had a soft launch and they had to do some ticket sales for a conference, and there was no way to do so. We were fielding all the password issues someone was having. We had to field the emails for that. So that was, it wasn't a lot of people. It was like two or three people, so it was not too
Mhm.
bad. But that's where I said, hey, we're going to need this.
Yeah.
And I think other than that, I mean, everything else from the logic, everything's there. Everything is there. You did I mean, I really wanted those color swatches. You made those color swatches. Um, and I haven't even used them properly yet, but I think this is like such a great product. I mean, for me, I'm excited. All my sites, and like before, all my sites were Total CMS 1. Every site that I build will be Total CMS 3 and Pro. I mean, for me, I can't. When I look at like the customization, and I know like some people had said like, hey, um, the licensing pricing for the pro side is a lot different than what you're used to with standard. But I mean, the pro side of that licensing gives you these unlimited collections and unlimited power to do this. Like the menu logic, all of my stuff's going to have that. And the beauty of this is I build this once, I'm going to copy that schema to another website, and I have all of that stuff. One thing I did on that gym website with Hubris is we have I have 4 minutes. I'll quickly show you this. I have a custom collection. If we look here, there's a custom collection here for SEO. And what we did here is the folder name is the ID. So on any page that you go to, if you're on this Beckenboden training. If you look at this Beckenboden, yeah, I say it wrong. Sorry, Matthias and Hubertus and Marcelo. No, wait, no, Marcelo. Are you German? Yeah. So we pull that ID. Now, of course, the question will be, hey, what happens on the homepage, right? So I just did a little PHP snippet that if it's on the homepage, it injects the word home into SEO helper and it pulls this ID straight out of the collection. So all of this SEO is managed right inside of here. Like, this is cool. Like, you can do your meta titles and your OG tags and your image all from right inside of the CMS. So like the possibilities are endless. And for me, when I build sites, it's going to be a lot of like optimization, but also reusing the stuff that I've built now. Like with Total CMS 1, we had to go open the old project, copy and paste a whole section out, and then like completely modify and change all of those settings. Now it's just like copy and paste schemas. Like it's just ridiculous how easy that is. Um, it's going to completely change the way I build websites. Like we're pumping out websites way bigger, way faster than we've ever done. Um, and that's something I'm excited about because Stacksweaver is just my community business. Like Stacksweaver is a hobby for me. Primarily, I build websites. That's my web design company. That's what I do. Um, and yeah, no, it's crazy. We're busy, and this is taking our websites to a whole completely different level.
Love it.
Yeah.
You said something I've been thinking about it for a long time as well. I think you said it on, I don't remember when you said it, but it's like you're not building websites, you're building web apps because of Total CMS 3, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Like the everything is now not just a website, it's an app. Like it's an application. It has complete use in industries where now I'm not building, like some people are like, oh, I'm not building a $10,000 website. No, but I'm now building even like subscription products, right? I'm creating websites that I get monthly subscription fees for because it's now a business operation tool. I had just a meeting just the other day with a client and showed off some of the other work that I was working on. And yeah, so now we're going to be meeting next week and we're going to be going through the whole process of moving their whole system into a web app on the back end of their website. And they're going to do the whole thing as an application, Total CMS 3. So it's
Nice.
it's crazy. Like there's just so many possibilities. And like that's even for me, like I'm super excited about the next version of Stacksweaver because I've done some pretty cool stuff with the admin area that no one will ever see of my website, but it's going to be even like 1,000 times better with Total CMS 3.
Sweet. Love it, dude.
Cool. I got to run.
Cool, dude.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
No problem,
Take
sir.
care. I
You
appreciate
have
it.
yourself good. Hey, no worries.
Bye.
Take it easy. Cheers.
Hey, everybody. Hey, if anyone wants to, actually, you know what? Why don't I just open this up? Who would anybody like to join in the Zoom and just ask me whatever questions instead of typing in chat? Here, let's go ahead. I will I'll get the link. I'll plop the link right in the chat. You guys can join, okay? Hopefully I'm not going to regret this. But if anyone wants to join, there you go. Join that Zoom. Yep, join in. If anyone wants to join, hop on and we'll answer some questions live. Hop on and we'll answer some questions live. Oh, sweet. Marcelo, how you doing, bud? David, what's cooking, brother?
Oh,
Oh, Dr. Bob,
that
we're gonna have a
button.
party now.
I've got too many buttons.
Too mind blown. Matthias, you're too mind blown for questions? No, I don't believe it.
Keep pressing the wrong button.
That's pretty incredible.
It's all looking brilliant.
Hubertus, hopefully didn't mind us tweaking your website for a little bit during the live stream. getting visitors. Hey, what the heck? Oh, the colors are orange now. They're not green. What the heck? Hoovers, how are you enjoying Total CMS 3? I know Josh has been helping you a lot building it, but do you find you're grasping it and you enjoy it? Oh, I think maybe he's looking for his mic. I called him out too early.
Josh gets so excited.
Yep.
It's so funny being online with him, especially late at night, and he's working on something. He's, oh wait, let me show you this.
If people are still on YouTube and watching the stream and you have any questions, I will still watch the chat. You don't have to come in here, but yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah, I hope no one from the customers has seen the color switching.
So Hubert, are you enjoying it from your end? You're loving it, I assume?
Yeah, I loving it completely, but everyone talks completely. So yeah, it's opened a new world for us.
Sweet.
Oh, completely.
If you guys are on this Zoom, by the way, and you might want to close down the YouTube video. I'm hearing the echo from, I think, the YouTube video. So if anyone has the YouTube still going, you might want to turn that off.
Yeah, I love it completely, but everyone talks completely. So yeah, it's opened a new world for us.
I think Hubert, it was you. I just muted you. So anyway, okay. Oh, Matthias, you can't join because your wife called you. I understand, brother. I totally understand. He's gonna have to go get a glass of wine. Excellent. Well, Matthias, go tell your wife all the amazing things you just saw and how it's gonna change your life. Okay. So Marcelo or David or Bob, or you guys have any questions?
So sorry, I had the live stream on the other side open, so
Yeah.
I hear all the voices.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and I think all day I have a delay or so, but it was the other window. Sorry. Yeah.
No problem.
I love the new system. It opens so a big world for us. So every time I want to sit with Josh and he show me new skills and new things on Total CMS 3. Yeah, I'm so excited. It's we have no gates, so we can do everything. It's so great, so fantastic. And yeah, I tell it to Josh, and if we found something that we didn't can do, we tell it to you and you fix it.
Excellent. Love it.
I think you see it most on Tuesday, on Thursday. So when the big problems come up. But you came.
That's why I get nothing else done on Tuesdays and Thursdays, huh? No.
So yeah.
I mean, I basically thought I had it all, had it pretty well figured out. Okay, schemas and here's my collections. Then I sit there and watch Josh and listen to Josh, and I go, holy crap, I have to rethink my thinking on this thing, because it's just like, I'm thinking about it again, still from sort of the database, perspective. And now this is completely different now. I mean, it's like, I see what he puts into collections. It just blows. I didn't even think about, oh, you do that. And I realized he's just looking at all these other tools we have that have settings in them. And he says, oh, all the settings are going into a collection.
Yeah.
And I'll just, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's so great. It's so great. So, and it's all a question of the if rule. So I see that every time when we have a problem. So Josh, bring the solution with an if rule and the next if rule, and the next if rule is a little bit complicated for guys like me, but he do it so simple and so perfect. It's so fantastic, and yeah, it works so perfectly.
Awesome. Very good.
Yeah.
Here, I'll share some stuff that let's see, I didn't get to share yet. On the stack side, actually. Let's see, what did we change? What we got? Oh, I'm in the wrong project. Let's see. I need this one. Okay. So one, it's going to look like a small change, but it was a lot of work. And so we go to custom, let's see, where is it? Admin. I think it was on this page. Yeah. Okay. So custom forms now. If you had a custom form, okay, set up before, shoot, I don't have an existing one. Yours will say custom form V3040. Okay. So essentially, if you want this features that I'm about to show you, you're gonna have to add a new custom form to the page. Okay, and then you can just drag all your fields into here. Okay, the only thing that's changed is this parent stack. Okay, and what has changed, as well as this feature, is now in all of the forms, but only the custom form is completely new. So again, you'll know it. You'll see the custom form V3040 in the stack title. If that's there, you might want to replace that with the new version. Okay. The old one should work. You just won't have these new features. So now, and it all has to do with form actions. So before you can add back to history, and if you didn't know, form actions, we have the ability to do custom actions based on if you're creating a new object, if you're editing an object, or if you're deleting an object. Okay. And you can have all the same actions. So you can either go back in history, which is essentially it'll go back to the previous page, as long as that previous page is on your website. You can refresh the current page. You can redirect to any URL. You can redirect to an object page, which is essentially the URL where it adds the current ID of the object of the form you're in. So let's say you create a new object and you wanted to redirect them to maybe the view page of that object. You can do that. Okay. You can do a webhook. Okay. And this is a new feature now. So advanced and multi-actions. So when you click on advanced multi-actions, we now have an interface similar to what we have in Foundation 6, where you can actually add in multiple actions. Okay. So let's say I wanted to do a webhook, and then after that webhook, I want to redirect to a URL. Okay. You can do that now. So again, so now you can have multiple actions, and you can have multiple actions. So if you wanted different actions for when a edit happened, you can do that as well. So now I have actions for if it's a new form, if I'm editing an existing one, or if you delete. So you can have custom actions for everything. Okay. Now, I haven't built it yet, but there will be an email action here as well. Okay. Again, what I showed today isn't done yet. But there will be an email action. And I might try to do a push notification service, something called pushover. If I don't get it in this beta, it will happen eventually. But if I have time to squeak in, I might try to squeeze that in so you can get push notifications to your phone or to your desktop and stuff like that. Using this app called
Pushover
Push.
is really, really good. It's so good.
Yeah.
Can you tell a small example for a webhook?
An example? So
Yes.
you essentially, let's say you wanted to use Active Pieces or Zapier or something like that. You could create a webhook, just like you would do with the same thing with Foundation 6 forms. Okay, and then it will send all the data from this form to that webhook.
Joe, can you do like a conditional on that? So say I have a member sign up form, like an auth collection sign up form, right? And they check a box that says they subscribe to emails. Can I make that that action dependent on that checkbox?
Maybe. I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
That's a very
I know it.
yeah, because for me, I'm gonna want to be able to either do a webhook to get them on my Sendy email list or harass you enough to get a Sendy plugin. But yeah, because that'd be really cool, right? From that initial sign up form, if they want to join the email list as well as create a login for the website, right?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool.
Cool.
Yeah. Just to throw another wrench at you.
I mean, if someone registers as a new account, you could just webhook it and just subscribe everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could webhook it, and then if they have the checkbox, it adds, and then otherwise it escapes the webhook. So yeah, you could do
Yeah.
that. You could leave the
Yeah.
logic on active pieces side. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. But just saying, nice to have. See, everybody, this is why it's taking another 7 months.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I should say that these actions will happen sequentially. So like the webhook happens, and then if the webhook happens, then the redirect URL will then happen after that. I do plan on adding, I haven't added it yet, there will be a continue if failed option. So right now, by default, if an action fails, then actions below it will not get executed. But certain webhooks, like let's say I didn't care if this webhook failed or not, I can make it continue on to redirect URL. Okay. Now, obviously, a lot of these, it doesn't like redirect to URL or redirect to object or go back in history or refresh. Those can't really fail. If those happen, any action, if I were to have, let's say this, right? None of this matters because this webhook will never get ran because it's after these, which essentially leave your page anyway, right? Does that make sense? Right. So all four of these are, four of these. You can't really redirect to URL and redirect to all of these, right? It's going to be one or the other. So, if you redirect to the URL, this one will never happen. So you're going to want to make sure you have the order correct so that the webhook happens and then you redirect to a URL.
Joe, but is it possible to set an if rule in there, so in the custom fields?
Right now, no, I
condition.
don't believe there is. It maybe you can put a conditional in here. I don't know. I'd have to think about that with the code. It might be possible.
It will be great.
You could probably, if anything, you could probably do it with agent. If you're using agent for something, that would most likely work. But I don't know about twig conditionals. Not sure how that would work. I'd have to think about that.
So you mean like if I was on page A and I clicked something and it brought me to this page, if I pass something via URL with agent, it could remove or add a step onto that next page.
Yes. I because that would also work in Foundation 6. I believe that would work here. I believe that would work here.
Just wait till people like I hadn't even unleashed like custom contact forms with freaking loading data and options out of custom collections. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
All right. Let me see what other things I do with the stacks. 1 second.
Josh, a question to both. So, is it now possible the thing that you have shown with the pictures in Total CMS 3 that we can change the ground settings from the size from the data? It switched them everything what we have done till now. So
no. So essentially, what would happen is if you chose in that image macro a preset, right?
Yeah.
We did not do on anything that we've done in that photography website. But say we went into the thumbnails, right? The gallery thumbnails, and we set that to be a preset.
Yeah.
Then what that allows you to do is change the preset in the admin area, which would then update what those macros do.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So we would have to first set all of the preset settings in the image macro to pull from that preset. And then, you could then say, oh, this image isn't high resolution enough. You could just update the preset primary setting and all the macros on the site would get instantly updated.
So great. It goes so fast.
So then now you could come up with all of our default image sizes with all the default crops and set those up as presets, and then we wouldn't have to go through all those pages to update those macros. We could always call upon that preset and then change that preset at any time, which is essentially like what we were doing with swatches, right? When you update a swatch and then it updates everywhere. Now you're going to be able to do that.
Josh, I don't know. I don't know if I told you the section lock. Now you can provide a comma delimited list of collections.
Yes, I saw that when you sent the message on that. I was like,
Nice.
I was so excited. I was very excited about that. I know I didn't vocalize, but I was very happy about the comma delimited list for the section lock. That's
Nice.
what I wanted. I needed that. That was the one thing I needed for the restaurant conversion.
Another thing that you might like with presets is let's see. I love the collapsible in the docs because the docs actually have a lot
We
of
all
stuff.
love it. We love it all.
Okay. Let's see. Did I? Oh, okay. Good. All right. So, in style text, okay, you can supply an image upload parameter. Okay, and in there you can pass a preset. So what that means is whenever you upload an image to style text, you can actually have a particular preset applied to that image. And why that's important is in the future, if you ever wanted to update all the images throughout all your style text, you can control it with this preset now.
Great.
Does that make sense, Josh?
Say that again.
Okay. So as an option to style text, because you can upload images to style text, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's say someone uploads a 5 megabyte image. You want to make sure that those are scaled down properly or whatever you need, right? So these image upload parameters you can apply. Now, in this example, I'm applying a preset. You can actually supply specific things, but I think the preset makes most sense here because you can just apply a preset, let's say style text, and then if you update that preset, all your images throughout all your style texts will get updated.
Interesting. Is there an option? Because I haven't seen this, but you know how like Chris dropped like all of the buttons for style text. Is there a way for us to preset style text options like inline classes so I don't have to go to every style text like field and paste in the custom stuff that I wanted in that dropdown? There would be a way that I could move that into like a setting somewhere that like if I just set all my style texts to have this default versus going individually into each of them and updating. That
Not
could
right
be
now,
something
there
that
isn't.
no, but that'd be something that'd be cool. I think would be nice down the road.
Okay.
Kind of.
This will be great.
Or enable to like preset like the inline classes so that like when I have that, like it doesn't necessarily have to be the whole settings, but maybe I could just preset like the inline class selection so that these classes that I've created, I have quick access to them.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
I think of another thing. So you showed by the beginning. So to customize the admin area when we come to the site to Total CMS 3. Is there a way, or it will be great, to set a collection on it? You know what I mean? So that we can set different collections for the admin area, and to set it on and out, how they looks. Or is it too complicated? Explain it for me. Sorry for my English here.
No worries.
No.
Can you describe that again? Sorry,
Yeah, that we have for the admin area where we come up, where we have your beautiful video and all the things. So that we can set collections on it. That we can do
so if you saw today, I allow you to customize that entire dashboard now, so you can put whatever you want on it.
Yeah, with
so with HTML code. So then you could put in there if you had like, if you wanted to create your own link section quickly to those sections, like those collections, you could do that. You could make that. Yeah.
That's possible in this beta. I just implemented that this week.
Okay. Perfect. So. Yeah, anyone, great projects or something to show where we can learn much things and
Steve asked it in the chat about a file depot stack. I assume he's talking about a content side for the depot, essentially something similar to what the file browser is on the admin side, but for the content side. So you could have a nice little file browser. That's on the list. I took a stab at it. It ended up being a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be. So I punted it until after release. So it will happen. It was just a little bit more work than I thought it was going to be. So I thought I could just quickly use the admin thing and strip out the admin-y stuff, but it turned out to be a lot more difficult than I thought. So that'll happen though eventually. Okay. And we'll see any other cool things I did. Yeah, I think that was it. That was all I've kind of done. I mean, I'm really happy with how I mean, we got a lot of changes to the dashboard side in this beta coming up.
yeah,
So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah, I was pretty happy this morning. I did this little auto dark mode thing.
Yeah, Josh, Josh, show it to me. We do a big party. I do a big party.
Nice.
But I think this settings here in the ground, we see it now the first.
Yep. Yeah, this literally didn't exist 2 hours ago. So
Okay, okay, you have
yeah.
done a so great job.
Yeah.
Joe.
You know, it's kind of fun. I've wanted to do stuff like this for websites. So, you know, now that I kind of have a way of doing this, so it'll probably filter into Foundation as well. So, be fun. Any other questions, guys? Or else we'll call it a day.
Well,
Not
it's all
really.
looking good.
Good.
Marcelo, any other questions?
Well, yeah, how you do the dark and the light mode? Exactly colors or percent? You understand the question?
No, they are exact colors. So I set color variables. Basically, I have various shades from white to black, and then on dark mode, I just flip them essentially. And luckily, just by flipping the colors, like basically white is black and black becomes white, and then the various shades of gray and white flip. I just luckily turned out, and it looks pretty darn good just by flopping the colors. So actually, in dark mode, because I use CSS variables, the CSS variable for white, I just set it to black, like so that way anything that uses white just gets black instead. And most of the time that's not going to work, but I think because I did this, I styled this very black and white, it does work. So I kind of got lucky there, I'll admit. I was kind of dreading doing that, and then I started playing with it late last night, and I was like, you know what, let me just flop the colors in dark mode and see how it looked. And it got me like 90%. There was a few tweaks I had to make here and there, but it got me like 90% there. And I was like, whoa, I was pretty floored. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, it definitely, not all sites are going to luck out the way I did with that. It's just because I chose a very black and white design where it does work.
But it's normally that you have only the light mode and the dark mode. Marcello, du hast ja auch nicht auf dem Mac eine Rose-Funktion oder so, dass das funktioniert ja nicht. It's always black or dark mode or white mode. It gives no rose effect or red or anything on the Mac. So yeah. So yeah.
in terms of localization, I know you asked about that, Marcelo. So I do want to localize the back end. I'm probably not going to localize all the docs. I'll be honest with you. Like the documentation is probably not going to get localized. But I do try to, yeah, there's some things like the word filter here could be, needs to be switched. So I do plan on that. And I didn't talk about it, but there is a setting in here for locale. Okay. And so that is the
Oh, you
start.
have it.
Yeah, that will be the start of it. Okay. Yeah. There's a lot of work to do. I mean, if you want, you can go ahead and swap that to German or, whatever. If anyone else here needs something else, you can change, you can set that to be German. And actually some things will change, but most of it won't. Okay. I did start early on, very early on. Because I knew I wanted to localize things, but it was taking a very long time. It was slowing down a lot. And so I stopped doing that a while ago. And I just continued on with English just to get things done. But I do want to revisit that to make sure that, everything like, the save buttons and all that jazz are, not in English.
Yeah, the thing is, so the English main language for all the site and all the system. This is not the hard point. The hard point is that the whole trick stuff and all the things and the programming codes and so is in English, and this will be in English the whole time. So we have to learn it. So we have no chance
Yes,
to.
there's nothing I
This
can
is
do
the
about that
problem,
one.
so.
Programming languages
And
are in English. Yeah. So yeah.
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 I think you have all the bigger country. Yeah. And yeah, this is the thing. So, and this is the point why it's sometimes so hard to understand how the process runs or something works because
Mhm.
it's another language. So, and this is,
Yeah.
we all know English. So, and
One thing
yeah,
that's kind of good, like you have full control over at least these labels and stuff like that,
yeah,
right? That's all
totally, yeah.
you, so you can set those to be, what you want. So I know for a little while it's going to be mixed, but yeah, and there are some things like if you edit the collection, you can set the plural and singular version. I don't like what would you call objects?
In
What
German,
is, yeah.
Objekte.
How do you spell that just for fun?
Yeah, OBG. Nee, yeah, J, sorry. J, yeah. IKTE.
Yeah.
This means objects in German.
All right. And if it was plural, it would be an S or no? For more than one.
Singular is without S. Singular is without S, and plural is with S.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So there we go. All right.
sorry,
So I'm
No,
gonna
not
save that.
objectes. No, it's wrong.
without the S. Without the S. Without the S.
Object?
No, this is
Yeah.
plural
Yeah.
is with the
No,
S, and
No,
singular is without.
Without the S. Without the S. Sorry, so I was in the English. So without the S. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Did-
without the S?
Yeah.
Yes.
And here delete the E. And here delete the E. in
Yes,
this
no.
Delete the E and the S at the end.
Oh, delete the E and the
Only
S.
the T is the end.
Only the T.
Yes,
Got it.
okay. Object.
Oh, so it's like that.
Object. It's
very-
real similar to English.
Very different. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
completely
I learn
different.
okay, look at that. I can even learn. So now, I mean, okay, I just wanted to show you like here, like some of that words can be done. Obviously now, like we would need to do what new is, right? But that's something that I would have to do on the back end, right? So when you set your locale to German, it would go and it would get new, in whatever the new version is, right? You can't do that yourself right now, but that's something that's on my,
Yeah, but I think
to-do list.
we work the whole time on the system, so you can let it in English. So
Yeah.
we know it, and the English words here are so similar to the Germans. I tell it to Josh every time. We steal the words from the winners of the war. We have the same here.
Yes, but I have customers, they don't understand English,
Yes,
so
yeah,
they
yeah.
always ask, can you do it in German? And
I
Yeah.
understand. Things you could do is, make sure when you name your collections, you can name them in German. So like, I know I create, by default, it can create text, English ones. You can, create your own in German though, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
so, when you create a text collection, instead of this being named text, you can name it, whatever it is, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Text.
and then
That's
that way down here, it would show up there, in German. So, yeah,
Yeah, I do some sections in German, but most I do everything in English. So
yeah,
it's better to understand.
yep. So, but Marcelo, it is something I agree needs to happen. And it will happen. Hopefully not too far away. Okay.
so
But
if you need
it'll
help,
all start with this setting here, this locale setting.
oh, great. So sometimes Google Translator or AIs don't make the wrong words. So if you need help
Perfect.
to
Thank you.
translate
I
your
appreciate it. I will
customers,
definitely reach out because I am fully aware that Google Translate sucks. I think AI actually is a little bit better than Google Translate sometimes, but yeah, even then, getting sometimes it's hard. It's like some languages, like let's say, I had new object, right? But let's say you had, new member. Like I know some languages, there's different versions of new based on what comes after it. I don't think I'll ever get to that level of localization, but hopefully that will be okay. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes completely sense.
Yeah.
I planned to do it so the whole backend and the whole stuff in English. So, and if I do it customer for the customer, and the customer has special things like we hear it Beckenboden training. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then I do the collection in this name. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so that
Perfect.
he can find it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
otherwise he cannot find it. So, but it's not difficult if the rest is in English.
Sweet.
Yeah. Great job,
Cool,
John.
guys. Well, thank you very much.
We thank you.
Take care. You
Yeah,
have a
great.
great rest of your week. Hopefully we'll see some of you guys on Friday to hang out.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.
Bye, everyone in chat.